literally, you were one of the first people I thought of when I heard all these names today because you can put it all together in a way. What does it mean for George Young to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, John?
For us, it was something that was long overdue. What he meant to our franchise when he took over in 1979 was something that is hard to put into words because we were at the very bottom of the league at that point in time, and he lifted us to a place that we used to just dream about, building Super Bowl teams, putting together a great staff, and really setting us up for success for many years after that. And the big thing he did for us was, he just made us more professional in everything that we did, from our medical department to our equipment department to our scouting to our pro personnel people, to just everything that he touched, he improved. And, he set us up for success for many, many years. I just wish that he were around to enjoy this because although he would have feigned indifference about it and everything, I know it's, knowing him, I know it's something that would have meant a great deal to him.
I'm sure. Was he pounding the table for Parcells, best you can remember from back in the day? Was he an advocate for Bill? And
He was. Although there was, quite a bit of luck involved there too. At the time, if you recall, Ray Perkins was our head coach, and he left us to go to Alabama. And George thought that we had something good going at the time. We had Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms and people like that on our roster. And George wanted to maintain some sense of continuity. So and Bill had some head coaching experience in college. So he was the only one on the staff, as I recall, that had any head coaching experience. So George went with his gut, and Bill ended up being our head coach. And the rest, as they say, is history.
So, is there any good story about Lawrence Taylor and George Young that you can pass along? That's safe for work, John.
I'm not sure there's very many of them that I'd want to repeat.
I was about to say.
But, George was sold on him in 1979. I remember thinking at the time, God, we need a running back so badly, and there's George Rogers out there, and I had not seen Lawrence Taylor play. There weren't a lot of North Carolina games on TV back then, and I remember George saying, "No, wait till you see this guy. He is something special, and you're gonna be thrilled that we got him." And sure enough, from the first practice at training camp in Pace University, you could see the talent and the fire with which he played, and that really set our franchise up, having him on our roster. And and listen, he made a big pick in '79 too. When everybody wanted us to take a quarterback, everybody wanted us to take Jack Thompson, the throw-in Samoan, was the big star back then. And instead, we took a little-known quarterback by the name of Phil Simms out of Morehead State, and got really criticized for it. It kind of reminded me of our pick of Daniel Jones last year. It was booed when it was announced by Pete Rozelle, and Simms became a great player for us. And then 2 years later, he added Lawrence. So, but Lawrence was obviously probably the best player in the history of this franchise. But he was certainly not without his challenges as well. It's something we lived through. But was a great player, always played hard, and really set the tone for the rest of the team.
As you know, John Madden said when he went into the Hall of Fame that he believes the busts talk to each other when the lights go down. When George Young's bust goes in the room, what's the conversation you think is going to be had between your dad and him, John?
Oh, God almighty. There'd be a lot of discussion. The one thing that George used to say all the time, and we still laugh about it, we still say it here, he would say, "John, whenever they say it's not about the money, guess what? It's about the money." He said that over and over to us for so many years. And
right.
Again, it's a line that we still use here, and I could see him saying that in the bus room in Canton for sure.
And I'm sure a lot of people would agree. I'm sure there'll be a chorus in that room. Hey, congrats on getting that news about George. I know it means a lot to you personally, and same with the commissioner.
Does, Rich. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Always enjoy our chats. Thank you. That's John Mara of the New York Football Giants right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.